Indiana Jones. It's a podcast about Indiana Jones. Every movie, 1 minute at a time. The Indiana Jones Minute.
Welcome back to the Indiana Jones Minute, the podcast in which we celebrate and discuss the film Raiders of the Lost Ark, 1 minute at a time. I'm Tom Taylor from IamTomTaylor.com.
I'm Pete Mummert from PeteRemembers.com.
I'm Gerald Christopher Marcus Porter.
And I'm John Brueggen from AlligatorFarm.com.
Welcome back, John.
Thank you. I think I should just say to you guys that, so there's no arguments later about bringing up old topics, that I believe his name is Tote. And I believe the college is in Connecticut on the East Coast.
You have been a champion of that.
And you
Indiana
guys
Jones
did
Minute
not
and the Listener's
steal me
Crusade.
from the Star Wars Minute. I never even heard of it until I heard your show.
Oh, really? Oh, that's fantastic.
That's correct.
That's good to know. Yeah, we should have guests come with a checklist like that, so we can cover all of our controversies, quote unquote.
As a Captain Stubing or Steuben?
And is he a
honestly
jerk?
don't care.
Fair
Wow, you've passed.
enough. He's one of us.
Yeah, it's like Temple of Doom. Or no, what is it? Last Crusade? It doesn't matter. It's not Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh my God! I need one of those Marshall College shirts, by the way. I gotta
Penitent man goes to sleep.
stop it. You're offending our audience, Jerry.
Oh,
okay,
I'm sorry.
minute 72. That's what we're here for today, and this begins with Belloc noting what a fitting end it is for Indy to be trapped in the Well of Souls, and it ends with Belloc yelling at Dietrich for tossing his girlfriend in there too. And Belloc spends most of this and the previous minute just inches from this opening. He's he's Belloc. He's very cavalier, very relaxed. Nothing touches him, including gravity. And there's a soldier standing behind him, and it started to look to me like he was aiming his rifle. He's just kind of relaxedly holding his rifle, but it looks sort of like the way it's framed, that it's aimed at Belloc. And it got me thinking, are the Nazis done with Belloc? Because they have the Ark now, and should Belloc be that close to that opening where Dietrich could just oops, kind of nudge him gently into the Well of Souls?
Still has to perform the Jewish ritual, though.
Yeah, but Dietrich isn't into that.
No, that's true.
Yeah, he'd be just fine skipping that part.
It seems like there may have been some lengthy, heated debate about, do we have to do that? Dietrich sounds like he just wants the Ark back in Berlin.
He's got a job to do. He was
Yeah, he's
sent
got
by
a job
Der
to do,
Ferber
kind
to
of a
go
no
get the Ark.
questions asked,
Yeah.
And Belloc just made up the idea so he didn't get killed today.
Right. Yeah. No. We gotta go to an island or something and get me a outfit, and we'll do some stuff. That'll be great.
Well, and I hate saying this, but I mean, we're going down this road, but had Belloc been pushed into the Well of the Souls, well, that would have been an interesting movie.
That'd be a great sitcom.
Yeah, you got Indy, Marion. She's pissed at Indy. You got Marion, and then you got Belloc, and you wonder, you're like, what would have happened? Indy would have found the way out and done the whole thing and pushed out some, ancient cinder block, and Belloc would have been sitting there, just sipping his wine and
Making out with Marion.
Making out with Marion and come in at the last second. Oh, here's the exit. Thank you, Indy.
I have the Odd Couple theme in my head.
Well, the wild card in that theory is Gobler is standing on the top of this thing too, with his toes sticking over the rim, kind of like Bosk. And he's if Belloc goes in, I think Gobler goes in too.
You might be right. We don't need his scum hanging there with his. No, sorry everybody. I forgot the race that Bosk is from. I'm sorry.
Poitarian or something like that.
It's like a. It's like Trandashan or something.
Trandashan, that's right.
Yeah. Send your letters to Indiana Jones Minute Complaints.
I've had sex.
Yeah, I may not know who Bosk is, but I have at least one girlfriend.
I've had sex. I don't know what Bosk's race is. I know he's a bounty hunter, and that's fine.
Vile scum.
Exactly.
Well, at the beginning of this scene, this minute, you see Belloc's, civilized appearance, and Ralph Laurenitude belies his true barbaric nature.
It's true.
Yeah, he actually is going to seal Dr. Jones up in the Well of the Souls and then go have some brie.
Yeah. Yeah, he's sick. He's a sicko. I mean, he could easily, he could shoot him to death from up there. He could do whatever. But he's going to lock him in there to rot.
And it's sort of a funny twist. Like, it's actually a very James Bond villain type thing to do.
It's totally James Bond. It really, yeah.
Well,
There's no way you'll get out of this one.
Creative twist of irony, and you're an archaeologist, and you're going to be buried for thousands of years.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. And he seals it with a joke. Like he gets in a pretty good zinger there.
Yeah.
Saying it, and even Indy seems to find that funny.
I don't want to like Belloc, but he makes it hard sometimes. He's a charming son of a bitch.
Well, it's true. Well, and think of the other ways. You're like, okay, killed by Javitos. Like that's, death by Javitos.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like he was fine with that. Like we talked about it that minute. He's like, so is this? He really doesn't care if the Javitos just kill him on the plain in South America,
right?
Like on the the field. He just assumes, he's not even going to get out of the woods. He's just going to get a blow dart in his back.
Yeah.
And I'm fine with that.
Wait, what?
No, I'm saying, and Belloc is just thinking, I'm fine with.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm fine with Indiana Jones dying right now in a kind of weird way.
Yeah. Well, he was ready to have him gunned down while he was standing inches from him in Cairo in that bar. But then those hysterical kids showed up and ruined everything.
Yeah, but the joke wasn't there.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, he didn't have as good of a one-liner there. He had a couple of them, but wasn't as. That's a little bit more. I mean, all things considered, that's a little bit more conventional way to die.
Yeah. I guess in the same way that Indy probably gets excited that he keeps getting opportunities to ditch Marion one more time, Belloc is probably excited. He's probably up there thinking, oh, you know what? The Javitos would have been okay. Cairo would have been kind of lame, but this is good. This is a good kiss off to Indiana Jones. This is sweet.
This exactly. This is the sweet spot.
This is what I was waiting for.
Can't wait to get back to the tent and toast Marion and tell her what I did.
Do you hear what I said? I told him he'd be worth something in 1,000 years.
Well, which is interesting because in this minute, then, I'm surprised Belloc left Marion in the company of Tote.
I was wondering about that, like, the couple minutes ago, like when you see the three of them, Dietrich and Belloc and Tote, walking through the desert, and it's kind of, it's very casual, like, well, we're done torturing and interrogating that woman, let's take a stroll, and where is she right now?
Right, I didn't really think about that. You were left with what shall we talk about,
right?
And I'm thinking trinomials, the FOIL method,
Pythagorean theorem.
Yeah, but you're like, well, what did happen? I mean, clearly they took Marion, Tote took Marion, and Belloc didn't know where.
Yeah.
Or they didn't, and I'm surprised that happened. I mean, because he still sort of had an upper hand on that over the Nazis. It wasn't long before that he was, bit slapping Dietrich for, sending out a missive to Berlin prematurely.
Yeah, but that his cred's been crumbling since they didn't find the Well of Souls right away, and they're losing. And now they have the Ark, so they're like, whatever, Belloc. Perhaps your girl can fall into the Well of Souls.
Well, he's clearly, you're right. He's in over his head. He's getting in over his head dealing with the Nazis now, and it looks like they've double crossed him.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like a Tote shoot them both minute.
A little bit.
A little bit. They didn't throw them into the well of souls, but hey, a couple of you guys are thinking they might.
Well, Marion hits the ground here, and it's just if you're interested in these snakes, it's a fabulous scene. As there's two cobras that are hooded there, waiting for this moment, and one of them is just beautiful. It stands up almost 2 feet high when it's right in her face, and apparently these guys, they're already hooded, so somebody's been teasing them a bit. And I read that they had like a fake rabbit on a string, and they would dangle it in front of these cobras to get them to get excited and ready, and then throw the actors into the scene.
That's incredible.
That would piss me off.
You hate it when people dangle rabbits at you.
Keep teasing me with a fake rabbit. Not even a real rabbit. It's like, isn't this a big studio production?
But these are legit cobras. They did have anti-venom on the set in case somebody made a mistake. So they were taking the right precautions. And you probably talked about it before, but there is a large pane of glass between Indy and Marion and the cobras. But you'd really have to strain yourself to identify that in this scene.
Yeah, definitely in this one, it's completely invisible. Like with Indy, you can, once you know that it's there, you can, maybe I see a little bit of a reflection or something. Yeah. But yeah, this one's pretty invisible.
Now, when the cobra rises up, as you said, and makes itself larger, and what is it doing there? Is it saying, back the f*** off?
Yes, that's exactly what it's saying. They try to make themselves look intimidating, and so they hiss a bit so that there's sound associated with it, and then those are ribs that spread out, and they spread their ribs out as big as they can to make whatever's irritating them get away.
And when would be an occasion, in the wild where a cobra would do that? Does a cobra have a natural predator?
Oh yeah, a lot. But in this case, it probably work best on things like the size of a jackal or some of these cat predators, and they get up close, and they think they're just looking at this small snake that's crawling along, and when it turns and stands in their face and looks 3 times as big. And if you look at these snakes, these particular type of snakes are called monocled cobras, and they have it looks like a big eyeball in the back. And so they may hood up and even turn their back towards an animal, and then the animal looks like it's staring into the eye of something much larger.
Wow,
that's cool.
Yeah, that's amazing. And it almost it kind of worked on Indy and Marion.
Yeah, it works on people pretty well.
They backed up. Yeah. They backed up.
I like the up at the top. Dietrich's little speech, I absolutely love. Like it sort of reminds me of the Emperor at the end of Return of the Jedi. And this isn't a Dream reference, but he's so sarcastic, and he's so, I'm afraid we must be going now, Dr. Jones. I do not wish to leave you down there in that awful place, all alone.
You know what? Every single
time
time
he's reading a kid's story.
The end. But yeah, every time he does that, every time I see this scene, I watch Belloc, because he doesn't know this is coming. So it's always fun to watch. Like, he kind of turns his head and like, wait, all alone? What do you? Huh? Oh! And he realizes what's going on, and he freaks out. And then there's an excellent. Somehow we talked a while ago about the editing and how awesome it is, but they get in excellent, just really quick flashes of Sala's and Belloc's reactions to her falling in, like in a second. It's very cool.
With an amazing, like J.J. Abrams-esque lens flare, red lens flare on both sides of Sala that looks like a red lightsaber.
Write it down.
It's already written down.
Back in the 80s and 70s, you had to make your lens flare by, pointing your camera at the sun. None of this J.J. Abrams stuff.
Like, it does look very contemporary, like modern. It look.
Oh, and by the way, Tote doing his own dirty work. This is like the first time we've ever seen this. This is kind of impressive. He's the one who drags Marion over and tosses her in.
Yeah, he just chucks her in.
Yeah.
She's screaming at him. What does she call him? Slimy something.
Slimy. Yeah, foreshadowing of the snakes.
I thought you were going to say foreshadowing of Yoda. Slimy, my home this is.
This is just truly a shitty moment for Indy. I'm sorry to swear, but
It's okay.
That's the only word. I mean, for this moment, because, and I'm not saying he doesn't deserve it, but he gambled on going for the Ark, right? When he encounters Marion in the tent, and you know, he ties her back up because he knows, he's like, okay, if I let you go, then they're gonna know it. You know, he needs to find the Ark, and he's got to get that first. So he gambled on that relationship. Then he loses big time. You know, just now in this minute, he's got, you know, he has no Ark, and he's done all the work. And then Marion comes, and she's furious at him.
Of course.
Again, and you know, he's a traitor. Again.
Yeah.
So it's like no Ark, and he's a traitor. Again, and it's just a lousy minute for him.
Do you think?
And I thought about it, and I was like, I bet you anything. The reason he's kind of okay and zen-like about being sealed up for 1,000 years, it's just that bad of a moment. You know, he's probably,
and Belloc was funny.
Sealed up isn't that bad.
What else can go wrong?
Yeah.
Oh, that girl who hates me.
Was Indy, like, when she falls and she catches onto the kind of the teeth of the Anubis, it looks like he's way off. Like he doesn't look like he would have been close to catching her.
He's hedging his bets. Well, if she dies, she can't be mad at me anymore.
If she ricochets off that wooden Anubis.
Yeah.
She pinballs right at him, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what he was counting on. Oh, I can see. She'll bounce off of there. He's more of a mathematician than an archaeologist. She'll bounce right off of there. I'll be right here.
Well, you got to give it to Marion. She's pretty nimble in this because she's like, I mean, she's very fast on her toes. Oh, I'm being thrown into an ancient tomb. Wait, let me grab onto Anubis's tooth to break my fall. Then, you know, gets caught. Screw you, Indy. You know, screw you, Indy,
Moving right
traitor.
along.
And then, a cobra. Let me use Indy as a human shield. Like every one of those, she navigates it perfectly considering her circumstance, and she's pretty damn fast.
Well, she's been doing that for the entire movie. She's like, oh, Indiana Jones is... Oh, my bar just burned down. Hey, I'm in Cairo. Oh, my monkey left. Oh, what's a date? I don't know what a date is.
My basket blew up.
My basket. Oh, I like that truck.
Yeah, she's incredible. And she's particularly vulnerable here. I mean, at least she's wearing the white wedding dress now. And the bridal dress, you know, and let me ask you guys, is there something sexual about the shot of the snake going through the shoe?
Well, it was a lizard, first of all.
Yeah, come on, Jerry. You pervert.
There go all the dudes with snake fetishes. And have legless lizard fetishes for everybody now.
Oh my God! But the answer is probably.
It's a very specific shot.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's I don't know. I would argue that it's less sexual and more just general snake danger. Like that, like, you know, if that hadn't fallen off her foot, her foot would be wrapped up by a snake right now, that kind of thing.
I think we can all sit here and talk about this, but I think if you ask any woman, it totally creeps them out that a snake is going through a high-heeled shoe.
Yeah. Creeps me out.
And then the problem is there's still a handful of men out there who are like, oh, I kind of dig that.
Well, if she got down there thinking, well, I can't wait for Indy to see me in this dress, she had to be pretty shocked that he ripped it in half right away.
Well, at least I got my hey! That was a gift from a Frenchman.
So if we're ever in a situation where a cobra is rearing up like that at us, what should we do?
They both did the right thing. Just just back up, get out of the way of it. It can only strike about a third of its body.
Wow. And they're venomous, right? Like they'll get you.
Yeah, they've got the venom, and it's fairly powerful. It's a neurotoxin. Sorry, so it actually goes and affects your breathing and your heart rate, and can shut down your respiration. And it's a little bit different. Rattlesnakes are a hemotoxin. If they bite you, they're destroying skin and blood cells.
Oh my God.
Basically starting digestion. So they're two different reactions.
Oh wow. So if somebody had been bitten by one of the cobras on the set, were they doomed, or if they had like medical stuff there, they'd be
They
okay?
brought some anti-venom, so they had the vials of anti-venom there just in case, and so as long as you don't have an allergic reaction to that's a good first step. And if there's a hospital nearby with some sort of ventilator, and you get on a machine that can breathe for you, you can usually kind of wait out the effects of the venom.
Well, how common would you say? I mean, one of the themes here, a great theme, is Indy's fear of snakes. And how common would you say that is in the general population? And for the people who do have a fear of snakes, is there any hope? Well, I mean, is there a way to, maybe over time quell that fear?
Well, I say that the fear of snakes is huge in our population. I think it's higher than the fear of death. So people would rather die than deal with a snake.
Clearly, Indy would.
In our situation at our zoo, we have a lot of people that get to encounter a snake for the first time if they choose to, and they're not slimy. They're really smooth and dry, and it's great to watch their facial expression when they first touch it, because it's not at all what they think it's going to be. And so you can turn a snake hater into a snake lover if they spend a little time and really get educated about it. But it's a severe phobia, and it's a phobia that's probably not worth being afraid of. You're probably more likely to be killed by a golf ball on a golf course than by a venomous snake. But
I hate golf balls. Don't even say that.
Anytime balls are flying at your head, it's dangerous.
Don't be afraid of the ball, Tommy. That's all I ever heard.
I will say that Indy does a great job of being afraid of snakes, but the reports from the set were that Harrison Ford actually had zero fear of these snakes. He was very comfortable working around them, and everybody was rather impressed that he was doing it with so much grace, I guess.
He's the king.
Yeah.
He's our Indy.
Best performance ever.
Tom Selleck would have shit himself.
Danny DeVito would have eaten the snakes.
Oh, man. Well, does that about do it for minute 72?
The only other thing I can't watch the end of this minute where Belloc says, "The girl was mine," without instantly getting that Paul McCartney, Michael Jackson song in my head.
Honestly, honest to God, I thought about writing that down. I was like, no, I look at that song stuck in everybody's head. I swear to God, I had that whole conversation in my head.
Well, and it's that line that made me ask yesterday about, was Belloc talking about the Ark or Marion when he said that, once again, I have something that you used to have.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Belloc, you could give him a jujube, and he'd feel that way about the jujube.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, one speed for yours is now like Belloc. I gave that to you. I gave you that jujube. It's all right. Relax.
Exactly. I have 38 of them over here.
Yeah, and you can't have them. It's called sharing, you jerk. Well, John, it's been awesome having you here. This has been great. This has been an education.
I've enjoyed it.
Yeah, this is great.
And what zoo do you work at so people can come see if they want to?
It's called the St. Augustine Alligator Farm. It's actually the only zoo in the world that has every species of alligator and crocodile on display.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
That's pretty impressive. Wow. Well, the next time we're in Florida, we're going to check it out.
Oh, I'd love to spend a day with you guys.
Awesome. In the meantime, Pete, where can people go to tell us about their, whether they're more afraid of snakes or Jawa ghosts?
Find us on Facebook. Find us on the Listener Society, Indiana Jones Listener Crusade on Facebook. And that sounds like the kind of thing Tom might put up in a poll. Or visit us at the IndianaJonesMinute.com.
I love the time travel aspect of this whole thing. Did I put up a poll? Well, thanks again, everybody. And everybody come back here tomorrow for minute 73 of Raiders of the Lost Ark here on the Indiana Jones Minute.
The girl was mine.
Mine.
Wait a second. I'm going to go ahead. My cobra, my monocled cobra impersonation.
That was pretty good.
It was excellent. I look behind me.